are watching the Blueprint Radio Show with DJ Miss Hennessy.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another exclusive interview conversation right here on Miss Hennessy TV. I am your host, Maxine Johns, aka Miss Hennessy, and tonight I am so excited to have these two incredible, innovative promoters with vision. Just everything that they touch turns to literal gold. They are representing an incredible movement that have been around for a number of years now. Sounds of Afrobeats. If you don't know them, well, tonight you're going to know them. These are two out of the four founding members of this incredible promotions juggernaut, shall we call them. And they've definitely changed the game when it comes to promoting incredible music festivals and music events based around the marvelous earthy beats of Afrobeats. I'd love to introduce my brothers Davis and Junior to the show tonight. How are you guys?
Yes, good, man. Thank you so much. Well, that was a good introduction, by the way.
You
actually made me feel good, important.
She tries. So I've got a friendship kind of like inroads there for another year or so, and then each year when I interview you, we got to up that ante with the introduction, right? How are you guys doing? Like, you're well, life is good. You both look well since I last spoke to you.
No, everything's good. We're just ever since COVID now is kind of gone and dusted, things are starting to pick up back to normal. So yeah, I'm just blessed now that things are back to normal and ready to go and get it, pretty much.
Yeah. COVID really did hit us for and everybody that I've spoken to, obviously post-COVID, people kind of seem a little bit weirded out that we still talk about it. But as entertainers and DJs and people in the music industry, we were hit the hardest, I think, one of the hardest. Like the first ones to really go in terms of career, basically, and money projection, right? Most of us lost income like in the thousands within that first day that we found out that everything was going to lockdown. And yet entertainment was almost the first industry that was needed to resuscitate the cities that were sort of dormant. So first ones to go, last ones to resuscitate, yet expected to resuscitate industry and economy. As promoters, man, how did that hit you guys? Like what were you experiencing through those first few months of us navigating what COVID was and what it meant to the entertainment industry?
I guess from my point of view, it was really a downer because, I mean, as much as events is a business as well, it is a passion. And it is something that, I thoroughly do enjoy. And so not being able to, I guess, create events and get back into that space during those first few months it's quite difficult because you're kind of just like, well, what do we do? I'm not kind of used to this kind of situation where there's nothing happening. There's no events to curate, and the whole industry is kind of at its lowest point. But I guess for us, or for me personally, kind of use this time to kind of just, I guess, brainstorm. Kind of plot what the next move is going to be like for the brand and for our careers, and then kind of navigate ourselves through that. But I mean, the first few months were just was just really, really hard to get a grasp of things.
Yeah, just to echo that, it was tough. I think for me, it was a shock more. Like, I couldn't believe that it was actually happening. Like, I think I was in such a denial.
Yeah.
The first mistakes, like, what do you mean? Like, think about it. Historically, this has never happened before, right? Mm-hmm. So I didn't think it was going to happen. So when they did it, I was like, oh, they actually did it. So I think the boys, we regrouped. We touched on a few things. For me personally, it was a very good experience for me because on the flip side, because it made me value and appreciate doing events, right? I've been doing events since 2008, right? So I think at some point you take it for granted in these moments. You just think it's just another event. But now when I go to my events now, I'm actually there I'm present, and I appreciate the crowd and people coming and the energy. So for me, on the
Yeah.
flip side, apart from the money, the economy, and everything, it was a personal shock for me. Like, wow, okay, I actually missed this, and from this moment on, I'm gonna make sure I take advantage of this and actually enjoy this, right? Because before it
Yeah,
was just business for me, but now I
that's
feel like I gotta enjoy this. Yeah.
That's what's up. That's a really nice perspective because most of the time we're so busy, just working in it, right? And
Mhm.
getting through the set list and getting through the night and making sure the event runs smoothly. And you're there, but you're not because you're almost 10 steps ahead of what it is
Mhm.
you're doing. And I speak
Mm.
from a DJ standpoint. I don't curate events, so I can't even imagine what goes into that, right? So, but even though still we've all got a part to play. So we're there, we're doing our job, and then we leave, and then you talk about it after it's happened, how good it
Mhm.
was. But what you've said is so true. I think it has really forced all of us to be present, regardless of whether we're at an event or if we're just at home with family. And I think that's the one takeaway that was absolutely positive about
Mhm.
Mm.
the entire experience. Um, so I definitely agree with you. But it's a great segue because your events, I mean, Sounds of Afrobeats, right? It's just you guys have been going for some time now. I mean, we've spoken on and off for years. You've come on the show. I've been such a huge supporter of what your brand um, has been built up on and what it gives to community. So I want to hear from the pair of you. Obviously, you've got two other members that aren't on tonight. I mean, you guys are also running your own businesses outside of Sounds of Afrobeats. You're family men, you're businessmen, very busy. But if you can speak on behalf of the rest of the group, what has it been like being a part of Sounds of Afrobeats? How has that journey been thus far? Don't all come at me at
Um,
once because I
Like,
can talk.
you can go, Gina.
well, for me, growing up in Australia and seeing the growth of our culture has
Mhm.
been amazing. And African culture was not like in this kind of light,
Yeah.
right? So to see the growth from what we've been able to build. And like it's crazy because the event we started literally has been parallel to the growth of the actual genre itself, right?
Wow.
So the success of our event is actually indirectly tied to the hard work of these artists, right? So because I feel like at the time we started the event, and Davis can correct me if I'm wrong, but we had just moved from the local halls and the local gatherings, and we're the first to move it to this kind of stage and this kind of platform, right? Before it wasn't done like this at North Sydney, Greenwood, where it was like a whole public domain. It was never done like that. It was always us Africans. We're doing a party at Granville Hall. We're doing this party here, and people, our community came. So this is the first time we branched out and showed Australia what our culture was like, right? And just to see it grow from 2000 and what year 2015 till
Yeah, 2015. Yeah.
we'll mark it to COVID. We'll mark it to COVID. It's about 2020 or 2019. The growth of it has been amazing. Like, and it's been so beautiful watching it alongside the growth of these artists. Because I look back and it's just like, man, like Burna Boy, Wizkid, like these artists are now, you know what I mean? These guys
Oh,
are doing
yes.
shows here. They're
Yeah.
mingling with Diddy. And it's just to see the brand built with along with our brand, it's been so beautiful. And like I'll leave David to comment more. But for me, it's just been a beautiful progression, just seeing
Yeah.
how it's not, and I can't say it's our success, right? Because without these artists, like pushing the envelope, we wouldn't be there, right? Because the bigger they're getting, the more accessible people want to check out our culture, right? People want to come to Afrobeats now.
Mm.
They want to do our dance. They want to eat our food. And they want to wear our clothes, which has been amazing. The flip side to about 2007, whenever all people knew about Africa was just what was portrayed, right? Now
Yeah.
it's like there's a culture. They're like,
Mm.
wow, you guys are cool, right?
But you
Africans are
know
cool
what?
now.
The fact
Yeah.
that you say that, and Davis, will definitely want to hear from you, but the fact that you say that, right? The not only is like Australia's perceptions of African people, but the world's perceptions of Africa as a continent, and then obviously the countries in it, has been very one-way narrative, right? And it's always been on and I hate it, but that sort of like that charity sort of poverty side of things, and we're like, oh no, I'm sorry, we know how to live. This is how we do things. We have our wealth, we have our amazing events, we have, in fact, we have so much more glitz and glamour that the world is now only realizing just how rich in that kind of.
There you go. You cut out.
Yeah, no, I did cut out there. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, it's okay. I'll go back and I'll redo it. But if further on to what you're saying, like Africa as a continent and as a culture, we've always been rich in whatever it is that we do, our music, our fashion, our food,
Mm.
our events, the way we throw things, the way we just come together. So to see the events that you guys have put on from 2015 to date, you're walking your truth, and you're walking the truth of our culture. And I think you've done it so authentically, and it's just been such an awesome thing to witness.
No, I think for me, being part of this journey has been, absolutely to say, absolutely amazing to say the least. I mean, I think for me, the reaction that we received from the greater audience, how they perceived this event, how they've taken on this event and actually took it as their own. Yeah, it's just overwhelming. I mean, people were flying from other states, people were flying from other countries just to come to an Afrobeats event that, that we pretty much created, to build as a platform for our community, for our people. There's so many artists that we have, so many Afrobeat artists within our community that don't really get the shine they deserve, and don't really get the platform they deserve to really showcase their talents and their styles. And the beauty with Afrobeats and of growing strength to strength is that we're able to provide these opportunities for these artists, to really display their music, to really put on a great show, and then DJs as well. And I think what it's done for the Sydney culture as well is that it's been able to, I guess, give birth or spawn other similar events and other types of Afrobeats and, I guess, Afro-related type of events now, where people are now really proud to display that culture. And to invite their other non-African friends to these events and to these creative style, I guess, exhibitions and things of that sort. So it's just really amazing to see what's really happened from 2015 to now. It's just a massive change. And I guess to your point, being around for so long, 8 years, and people are still, I guess, gravitating to what we do. People are still learning about what we do as well, which is fantastic. I think it's just a sign of greater things to come. I'm looking forward to what the Sydney culture is going to become in the next 5 to 10 years. I think it's going to be really one big melting pot and probably rival other cities like Toronto and London and New York and things of that sort. So
he's hoping, man. He's hoping. But it's so true what you've said. No, seriously, Sydney needs a real major injection. Like, and it's amazing events like the ones that you guys put on, and then all these other incredible things that are happening at the moment. It's just, and the water. Hello, hasn't the Sydney Harbour been busy with boat parties? I don't even know what's going on there every other weekend. I'm like, sweet mother of like. There's a lot. There's a lot going on. But just to get back to that sort of Afro vibe, that sort of really been on the rise. Sounds of Afrobeats have obviously been that initial injector, right, into that community, in terms of taking your events from small community halls to massive spaces like Junior mentioned, Greenwood, and over in North Sydney, and then obviously on stages at like Vivid. You've got another incredible night coming up real soon with the Vivid Festival happening here in Sydney that we're going to talk about. But with all of the other events that kind of come about that sort of tag itself on to maybe like a similarity to what you guys have done, the rise of, and forgive me if I'm saying this incorrectly, Ampiano. Am I saying?
I'm a piano.
I'm a piano, right? Is there a similarity to like Afrobeat? Is it under the same umbrella musically sounding, or is it completely different? Because sometimes it seems to bleed into each other, and I look at it and I go, is this the same community? Same different? How would you guys describe it?
I actually read about this. Actually, very interesting you mentioned that. So Afrobeat without the S is just the genre of West African music, right? Nigeria. I think obviously we all know okay from Nigeria, Fela Kuti, et cetera, et cetera. But when you put the S on it, correct me if I'm wrong, Dave. So that's what I read. When you put the S on it, then it engulfs everything under the African music.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I heard. The difference between Afrobeat and Afrobeats. So the S is what changes everything. So then it does become one whole big genre. But yeah, Amapiano's derived from the South, obviously.
Yes.
But yeah, that's what I read. Interesting enough,
Oh.
you asked that question.
Yeah.
So would Amapiano fall under Afrobeats?
Look,
No, go ahead.
Amapiano's got its own style. It derives from like Kwaito,
Yes.
Afro house, jazz, gom music, things of that sort. So it's taken on its own form. It's very inspired by house music.
Yes.
You would say it's got similar, I guess, tones and BPM to house and electro music.
Yes.
But it has taken its own form. I mean, Amapiano is more of an underground genre that really took off during COVID.
From my neck of the woods, South Africa, I like to.
Correct.
My only claim to that, because I can't say the name properly, but I say it with my own flavor. But yeah, it's actually really interesting that you've said that, Junior, because I mean, I literally would just have said Afrobeat. Afrobeats is the same thing, but the fact that it's broken down and just if you put the S on the end, it's all encompassing. Whereas Afrobeat is the sound from the particular area. So, sounds of Afrobeats. So you guys encompass it all.
Yes, and that was not planned, though, mind you.
Wow.
That was not planned. Yeah. You look back like, wow, okay, it all worked out, man.
It
Luckily.
It really did, because you're all from different. You're obviously all from different parts of Africa, all living here in Australia. We also shout out to our brothers Nick and to EJ as well, and so you all represent the different parts of the African diaspora, which is amazing. So it does actually make sense that it sounds of Afro beats now that you just explained that. Destiny, man, Destiny took a hold there, which is great. Do you all get on very well? I know I've probably asked you this before. There's some different personalities driving certain things.
We get on like brothers. So you know what that means. You get on like brothers.
Yes.
Siblings, families. So yeah.
You do. I've had the pleasure of working with all four of you at on one of your events, and I could definitely say, if I had to say, who is the bossy one? Who's the one that does? No, there's no bossiness. But I do think Davis. No, I think Davis has got that silent strength, though, brother. I know you're in there going, okay, y'all are talking too much now. We need to get it moving. Keep this train moving. I ain't got time. Junior has a look. He'll give you a look if things aren't going right, and then he'll sort of do the thing that he's doing now with his chair, and then you're talking too much. You got to keep moving.
These are accurate. These are quite accurate, actually. And then what about Nick and AJ?
Nick is the salesperson. Am I right? Nick's got that salesperson vibe about himself. He might ring me tomorrow and go, "You were wrong for that, Max." And EJ, well, what can I say, right? Emmanuel is just superstar out there with his megawatt smile and just getting the people in, right? So you've all got your little parts, but it works well, and I think that's the real success behind your brand. And it's not easy to promote, and there's four of you doing it. So how do you guys make it look so seamless? Because it's not, but how do you make it look like that?
I think the beauty of our relationship is that like we're all friends before business. It's a very organic relationship. Our relationships weren't formed on the basis of this event. We already had relationships outside of this already. So I guess moving into a kind of a collaborative space was easy. I guess it was quite easy. I guess just in my experience, working with other groups and things of that past where you're not really so familiar with them, it obviously does open up doors for issues and I guess confusion and things of that sort because you're not understanding each other. But with us, we all pretty much understand each other. We know where our strengths lies. We know what the other person's coming from, and we know when to back off as well when things start to get heated. So it's just it's a really good I guess space that we have created for ourselves there.
And just to echo that, what makes us work from my perspective is the fact that I think we all want to see each other win, right? In our personal lives as well, not just the business. Right. So when you have that makes family have a good life, when EJ, vice versa, right? So and when we do things, we know it's for the business, but also we want everyone to win. And I think that's what's kept us afloat, right? Because we don't want to let each other down. We all have goals, personal or business. And I think that's one of my biggest thing from the group is that we all genuinely want to see each other win. And I think Davis can agree to that. And that's what's kept us going for this long. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, again, that's just a testament to who you are as not only friends, but, it's like a brethren that you have, right? So you sort of look out for each other, even in business. And this business is hard. It's not easy. And, whether you're in it as a performer or whether you're putting on the events, it's not for the faint-hearted. But it's, like I say, you guys make it look seamless because your events are always full of such good energy, and like there's good people that come to it, and it's put on by good people, right? I'm a real energy person, and you can tell when an event's not like it hasn't come together with the right intentions, right? It's just been together because it has to. It's got to meet the mark. It's got to make the money. It's got to fill. You got to it's like box ticking. You don't get that with the Sound of Africa. I mean, a Sound of Afrobeats event. You don't get that. It's intentional. People are there because they want to be there. People are there because they want to feel good. They want to be in a different space. And that's not easy to achieve in today's cancel culture and all these, it's not. I mean, the world has changed from when we used to club way back then. So clubs are different, events are different. But I think you guys obviously, you're cut from a different cloth, and it shows in the events that you put on. So with all of that, let's talk about the upcoming event that's happening. What's going on? Vivid, talk to me.
So we got Jiva coming up. Joy is vital always. Is the acronym. And I think with this particular collaboration with Vivid, we wanted to do something a bit different. It does obviously pull off from our strengths of Afrobeats, but we've also incorporated other genres as well, such as bal funk, electro soul, future sounds, and even hip hop as well. And pretty much it's just a celebration of life. It's a celebration of joy. Vivid's all about bright lights, colors. It's a huge exhibition. That's known worldwide, and we just want to echo that with Jiva. And also bring that flavor with us as well. So I believe it's the first of its type with Vivid.
Wow.
Okay. So it's the first type of event of this style of event with Vivid. And we're hoping to continue to do this, year after year, and keep that collaboration going. But we're looking forward to it. It's going to be exciting. We've got live performances as well. So yeah, it's going to be one big spectacle.
So because Vivid runs what? When does Vivid start? We're looking end of May, isn't it, or early June?
Early
end of May. End of May to middle June. I believe June 11th or 12th is when it ends. Yeah.
So your event, is it a one night, or is it over a couple of nights? Like what's the general what's the vibe of it? Like the details. Where can people?
Yes, it's just a one-off event. It's a daytime event at the Ivy, which is one of the most prestigious venues in Sydney. So we're taking over that for the day from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. And yeah, it's just good vibes. It's good vibes, good energy. I'm sure Gina can echo that as well. And yeah, we're just looking forward to putting on a spectacle for everyone out there.
Sounds amazing, man. So, what date is it?
June 3rd, Saturday, June 3rd.
June 3rd. So June 3rd at the Ivy, from 1 to 8. So it's like a full sort of, it's like a day club type of vibe as well.
Yeah.
Which that suits, because most of your events, like you would start them around 3 or like in the afternoon, and then it goes into the evening anyway. So it's got that real nice, almost like that tropical kind of feel. I don't know if I'm maybe talking about it wrong, but I know when I've been to them, it just feels like it's that day party leading into night, which suits
Yeah.
the Ivy perfectly. And so you've got a lineup of DJs, live performances from Sydney, from all over. Where are the performers from?
So most of them, I believe, most of them are Sydney based. So we've got B-Wise, who's one of Sydney's leading hip hop artists.
That's dope.
So we've got him performing. We've got Ja Roth, who are a Ghanaian. I think they're a four-piece band, and they're pretty cool because they not only do they play instruments, but they also got a DJ that accompanies them. So the DJ actually strips out the vocals from the tracks, and they strip out the instrumentals and keep the vocals, and they play on the back on the top of the vocals there. So I'm really looking forward to that performance. That's going to be dope. And then we got DJ Gabu. He's going to bring in a bit of that Bale of Funk flavor.
Yes.
Which is taking up the clubs at the moment by storm.
Yes.
That's the next big genre coming up. And then we got Talisha, who's also doing her thing as well. She's in more of the hip hop future sounds world. Diola, our homegirl, our queen, Diola. So she's gonna be coming through with those good vibes as well, and just a range of other acts as well. So it's just gonna be one big day. We got CMJ. Should we put in playing some latest Afrobeats and old school Afrobeats? So as you can see, it's just all genres covered. We're just trying to bring everyone together.
Yeah.
For Joy's Vital always.
It's the first time we're actually stepping out of the Salsa Afrobeats world a bit.
Okay.
Like we're actually, as you heard the lineup, it's not just Afrobeats.
Yes.
So it's the first time we're trying to go a bit hybrid. So it's a bit exciting for us, something different for our crowd as well. So yeah, it's exciting, something new. We've never actually done this kind of event before. So yeah, we're all excited for it.
I think, look, I mean, again, I think you guys, you work so well together. You know your clientele, and even though it's a fusion of sounds, it's still under that banner that and you're just going with it. It's that sort of evolution of what you guys have birthed, which I think is really exciting. And it sounds like it's now, like it's time for that kind of vibe and feel. So I mean, Vivid is just such a great experimentative, sort of explorative how can we even say it? It's a like experience, I guess, and there's so many different things that come with Vivid, and I think it's probably the perfect time for you guys to be stepping out a little bit and stretching your wings, because you've got a great lineup. I mean, B-Wise, Diola, all these great artists that are going to be sort of maybe for some of them too might be a different crowd, but I think it's great. That's what it's all about. And I think that's what Sydney's got to grow into as well. It's really got to stretch its wings a little bit, in the entertainment world. So I'm excited for you, man. I think it's going to be awesome. So do people have to buy tickets to it?
Yes, so tickets are available on Mushtix.
Okay.
If they want more information, they can just visit our page. It's at Sounds of Afrobeats. And yeah, all the information is there for them to purchase tickets and whatnot.
So, and what's the dress? Because you know how to tell people how to dress, how to behave, correct. What's the dress code, please?
Hey,
it's the Ivy, so I think it's smart casual, right?
Yeah, sometimes
smart
the
casual,
youngins,
bit of swag, bit of swag for the youngins, but
African clothing would be dope.
How people do. We come through. I'm just saying, you don't need to be told, okay? But that sounds dope. I'm so excited for you guys, and I think again, you're effortless with how you do stuff. So it's good to see you back doing your thing. I mean, you guys have done some events since obviously everything's been sort of growing back up, right? But is this like the first sort of major type of thing you've done for a while now? Or have there been a couple of other ones in the past that you've done and that you're gauging from that to now branch out into this? How's it been, the growth back into into the Sydney scene after COVID? How's it been for you?
It's been busy, that's for sure. Pretty much once the floodgates were open, it's just like bam, 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 bam. But no, it's been good. I mean, I think our first event was last year in March, which did extremely well. And then we had an event at the Art Gallery. So we had a collaboration with the New South Wales Art Gallery, which was amazing, like absolutely amazing. So we're looking forward to running that back again very soon. And then we had a couple of tours as well. So we had Uncle Waffles in November. So we did a 3-state tour with her, and then we had Major League DJs in March. So it's been busy. It's been busy.
Busy, but like cool busy. Like you're not like, you know how like sometimes there's too many things, there's too many balls in the air to juggle, right? But you're all juggling like some cool ones, if we can say that. Like art gallery. Hello. I didn't even know that these things were going on. I don't know where I've been. And then you've got, you know what I'm saying? Like you're doing some dope things. Like it's exciting. I love it. I love it. I need to get out more, clearly.
Yeah, well, no, definitely send you a text the next time we have something on like that.
You better. Don't be telling me that, Davis.
we got you. We got you.
You know what I'm saying? I know I live far out the city, but I can drive in. I'll come in and I'll support anytime, anytime. All right. So 3rd of June, amazing event. Ivy, go on to the Sounds of Afrobeats website. It's just soundsofafrobeats.com.au.
Oh, they can find it on our Instagram. So just at Sounds of Afrobeats.
Okay.
Or they can go onto our website on dnje.com.au.
Okay.
And more information is there as well.
Awesome. Get involved, people. And Vivid is such an amazing international event for Sydney. So you guys are like literally like, it's great. You know, I can keep going on about, you know, your work ethic and your brand, but you know what you're doing. You always have. You're here, you're flying strong and doing what you're born to do. I do want to ask you this though. Knowing what you know, actually how do we put it? Knowing what you know now as opposed to when you started out in this game, what advice would you give to yourselves about becoming promoters?
Oh man, that's a very good question.
Because you're not promoters in a club sense. You do like you curate nights. You're not hosting a club night. So there's a difference. So what would the advice be, especially knowing that difference?
Man, that's a good question.
That's a good question.
For me, I've always said this, and I'll always say this: when you're doing an event, you're never truly in the moment, right? Like I've done tours, Tiger, Ja, Kid. I could list the people that we brought here, even recently, right? But it's like you wish you could go back and actually just be in the moment, enjoy that this guy's here, and like, you know what I mean? Like, so I think that's what I'm learning. It's like even though it's business, this is still a life. So I'm learning to just enjoy these moments, because I look back and you can't have those moments again, right? You know what I mean? Like the crowds, the artists that come here. So for me personally, there's a lot of things I could go back. I wish I could change. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When it comes to learning the business part, networking, pride, ego, you know, those semantics, right? But for me personally, just learning, if I could go back in time, would be to savor those every single moment and to build a relationship in every step of the way, right? Because obviously relationships are currency. And as I've grew up now, I've come to understand how important it is to keep relationships as well. So those are the key things. Enjoy your moments whenever you're doing, I don't care what you're doing. And number 2 is, what's the second thing I said?
Relationships are currency.
And relationship is key, right? Don't burn relationship because of anything. Those are the 2 things. Yeah.
Oh, love it. Davis, what about you?
Yeah, I think you took one of mine already, Junior. Your relationships, building relationships for sure. Yeah, definitely when we started out and just being young, you know, we could have done things a little bit better, but yeah, definitely relationships, because as they say, your network is your net worth, or your network is your network, you know, and so it's so important to keep certain people around. on each other, you know, and and only good things can happen out of that. You know, if you surround yourself with 6 winners, you're gonna be the 7th winner, you know, and that's just how it is. So yeah, definitely keeping those relationships and harnessing them.
That's right.
Yeah.
And also one more thing, actually, this is very important as well. Sorry, it's okay to fail, right? It's okay to fail.
Absolutely,
and
absolutely.
don't let it affect you. Like, it's very
That's
important,
right.
right? Don't let any failure, because we fail. Like, everyone sees Sounds Afrobeats, oh, it's good, but they don't know the failures we've had, right? So we've been doing it since 2019, 2009 in terms of event. It's now 2023, right? So we failed here and there, but we kept going, right? And that's what success is. So it's okay to fail. That was it for me, Lexi. I just had to drop that gem.
No, I
It's
agree
so
with you,
important.
man. That
Yeah, it's
failure
okay
one
to
is
fail.
so true, because you don't
Yeah.
know what it feels like to win until you failed.
Absolutely.
You can't just go into stuff and be like, yeah, I did that and I did that and I did that. And that's the thing. I think people talk too much about the successes and not enough of the failures, because the lessons in the failing.
Mhm.
And especially in a game like promoting, it's
Mhm.
not for the faint-hearted, like I said before. So there's a lot of lessons that could be learned. But I think, again, with the 4 of you, you know, you obviously learn off each other, and, you know, you all have your strengths and you all have your weaknesses, but you balance it out. And I think it's a good combo that's happening here. So thank you for sharing that, and for your time tonight, and just always, you know, having a chat. I love talking to you guys, love what you do, and just, you know, appreciate you and the space that you're in.
No, likewise, and blessed for having us on.
For
and
sure.
Platform to us as always. I mean, this is like a family thing right now, man. So yeah, we really appreciate everything that you do for us, the support.
Yeah.
You know, the description, how you described us. I mean, I've never been like Junior said, I've never been described like that before. So it's amazing. It's, you know, it's a stroke to the ego. You know,
That's
but
what I do.
no,
You know,
yeah.
you guys run seamless, curate seamless events. I introduce you seamlessly. This is why it works so well. This is what we do.
No,
Much appreciated.
We appreciate you.
And don't hesitate to reach out to us as well for anything as well. Vice versa, the relationship is there, like we were saying. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. And good luck. June 3rd, it's happening. What's the name of it again? Because I'm probably going to say it wrong.
Jiva.
Jiva.
Joy's vital always.
Jiva. Happening at the Ivy. Get your tickets. Sounds of Afrobeats Instagram. Don't miss out. It's going to be a whole mood. You don't want to miss out. It's going to be amazing. Congratulations, guys. Keep shining, doing what you're doing, changing the game. One event at a time, and we will have space real soon.
Thank you.
Bless.
Anytime. Anytime.
Anapa ne isting so that's not. Yamena to make good to a Zagadat. Yamena to make good to that's not. Yamena to make good to a papa. Anapa ne isting so that's not. Yamena to make good